You can hear me. And welcome to this No Cape No Star World tourney race. This is... what, round... is this round 1 or round 2? I should probably know that. This is round 2 of the main bracket. Dactyly versus Seathorne. This ought to be a good race. And looks like we'll be getting underway in just a minute. Countdown has begun. And looks like we're just waiting for the delay to catch up now, but we should be on the way. Okay, here we go. So, this is a No Cape No Star World round 2 tournament race. We have Dactyly, the second best runner in Australia, versus Seathorne, who's a very good runner in his own right. And, well, I guess if you've watched any of these tournament races before, you'll know that World 1 is pretty much what you'll see in any Super Mario World speedrun. Just making their way through the first 4 stages of the game as you would in any category. Just a bit of basic platforming, nothing too exciting. And so our competitors this race, we have Dactyly, who has a 35.07 that he got 3 days ago. And Seathorne, a 35.09. So PBs, as of recently, are within... Actually, is that an yeah, okay, that's an up-to-date PB for C. I know he PB'd recently. Yeah, that's a 35.09 that he got 4 days ago. So PBs within 2 seconds of each other. Ought to be in for a good race here. And both runners have been running this game for the tournament. So yeah, they're definitely in practice. And looks like neither of them having any issues making their way through YI3. Nice 259 from both of them, showing that they both know how to run on those brown platforms. And we see C looked as though he attempted the shell jump, just didn't quite get a left input in there. And Dak chose to stomp the shell, reduce those couple of frames of lag. But at this point, it's pretty much neck and neck. And both runners entering E's castle. Not having any trouble getting through this first room. Dak taking a little bit longer on the cages, but still both within a game second of each other. And here we see the first difference between the routes each runner will be taking. So Dak has chosen to grab a mushroom, and will be grabbing fire in this room. And he will keep that, ideally through the rest of the game. Well, at least through to Roy's castle. Whereas C, staying small, he's going to grab fire in DP4. And we'll see a small-only DP3 from him. Different runners have different preferences as to which strats they go for through DP3. Some find that Some find that small only is easier. Fire can be more consistent if you know what you're doing with it, but it's definitely a harder strat. And here we see both runners making their way through DP1. Some basic platforming. Each of them will be grabbing a Yoshi halfway through the stage and using that to jump up to the secret exit. So I'm pretty much... Yeah, if you've seen any of these races throughout the tourney, Tony's been going for, what, a month or two? You should know what the score is by now. And yeah, very nice DP1 coming out from both of them. And here we see one of the advantages of having fire here. You can fireball through the fish instead of having to slow down and go around it. But C has the advantage of being able to take that that throw block over the top of the over the top of the second throw block. You don't have to throw the first one and grab the second. And now we have both runners making their way through the ghost house. We'll be seeing them bounce on bounce on the boo in order to get up to the top of the level, skipping a couple of rooms. And it looks as though both runners so far not having any issues getting through DP3. Both have made it through that hard jump to that on-off block. Yeah, we're seeing small only strats from C, fire strats from Dact, and very nicely executed by both of them. Dact having a slightly faster stage, although actually with the... Yeah, no, Dact, even taking screen scrolls into account, Dact was faster. And both runners making their way through DP4. Dact unfortunately running off the edge of that, that pipe, losing him a little bit of time. And, ooh, see, runs into the pit. And loses his Yoshi. That is quite unfortunate. I'll be interested in seeing how he goes about this, because technically it's not worth going back for a new Yoshi. But sometimes, just for confidence's sake, it might be worth it. But no, C's choosing to carry on. I reckon we'll be seeing a buzzy jump from him in Donut Planed 1. So this particular Yoshi, it doesn't save a huge amount of time. You use him for, to get up, to blue shell floor. Ditch Vanilla Secret one in order to save a bit of time as well. but it's not worth going back for a new one in this situation, so C will just be carrying on without it. And ooh, C loses his fire as well during the Morton climb. Looked away for a second and missed it, but that is unfortunate. He's gonna have to get a new one in Donut Plains 1. Fortunately, he has a mushroom, so then there's 3 fire blocks you can grab, so it's not too bad. And with that, Dact has taken a very slight lead. And now we see both runners heading into Vanilla Dome. Dact is able to grab this blue shell and fly through to the end of the stage with that, or fly up to the secret exit. Seathorne, we're going to see a bit of a different path. He's going to have to grab fire somewhere. I reckon, looks like he'll be getting it from this block towards the end of the stage. And he's also grabbing a Buzzy Beetle, and he's going to use that in order to, you can, if you throw a Buzzy upwards and then hold it, you can store that downward momentum as it falls, and use that in order to basically get a jump off it midair, like C did just there, and jump up to the secret exit. Dact loses a bit of time in Vanilla Secret 1, not quite ditching his Yoshi right. Having to go back down and catch him. But C still does have the lead. Oh, goes for a shell jump off the wall with that shell, but he has fire, so he fireballed it by accident. Gets through the line of Koopas unscathed, and will be climbing up to the end of the stage. Dact, in the meantime, is entering Vanilla Secret 1. And just grabbing another Yoshi, bouncing on some Koopas, getting through the stage with no issue. Oh wow, I am far behind. Oh, Roach, by that logic, I can't take sides here because I've hugged both of them IRL. Okay, not sure how behind I am now. I can see Dact making his way through Vanilla Fort, and Seathorne just at the end of Vanilla Secret 3. Fortunately, I think the commentary stream is being a little uncooperative. Dact looks as though... Yeah, very nice Resnor fight coming out from Dact. No issues at all. Sometimes those fireballs can be pretty mean. But he had no such issue. And C is making his way into the same fight as Dact makes his way into the beginning of the longest auto-scroller in the world, Butter Bridge 1. And C also no issues with the fight. See messing around, item swapping that mushroom, which in this situation does absolutely nothing. Technically you can duplicate a mushroom doing that, but since he's already got fire, it's completely unhelpful. Both runners just messing around a little bit as they play the stage. But unfortunately nothing interesting can happen here. Oh, I will say, it's a stage where you can mess around, but you definitely have to pay attention. Because I've seen runners make mistakes in this stage. I've seen a surprisingly high number of Yoshis lost in the last few seconds of Butter Bridge 1. And the main reason you get Yoshi this early in the run, technically speaking, it's slower to have it through all of Top Bridge. The main reason you grab this Yoshi is for the next stage, Butter Bridge 2, because that stage is quite difficult, and I think luck-based. If you're Small Mario or Big, or I guess if you don't have a Yoshi. Whereas with Yoshi, you can grab a blue shell halfway through the stage and fly for most of it. But thankfully, neither runner loses their Yoshi this time. And yep, get through Butter Bridge 1 with no incidents. And yeah, we see Dact grabbing that blue shell I mentioned earlier, and he's just able to fly over the rest of the stage. This is really the only flyover stage we have in No Cape, No Star World. Which is, the lack of flyovers is definitely what makes it a more interesting category than some. If this were a Cape No Star World run, I think the last 5 or 6 levels, you would just fly straight over the top of them. Oh, I guess, except the fort and Butter Bridge 1. But those are boring in their own right. And now Dact's making his way into the castle. Just choosing to run against that wall, delay a bit so he can run straight over the bony beetle. And it's worth noting, both runners still have their Fire Flower. Dact has 2 of them, actually. But having a Fire Flower here, it saves about 14 seconds in the Ludwig fight. So hopefully neither of them lose them, but looks like we should be alright. Yeah, Dact getting a nice jump onto Ludwig. 2 fireballs and the stomp, killing him instantly. Without fire, you'd stomp on him once, he'd roll around for a while, jump all over the place, and then you could get a second hit in. And if you hit him whilst in the air, you can go straight to the 3rd hit, otherwise he does that cycle all over again. It can be a very long fight without fire. And Seathorne, ooh, bouncing off Ludwig's face before getting the jump. Thankfully there were no inopportune fireballs. But, yep, both runners making it through Ludwig's unscathed, and heading shortly into Forest of Illusion. Now, it's worth noting, while Dact does have a decent lead at the moment, we are headed into Forest. We've got clips, we've got annoying luck-based jumps, so things could turn around pretty quickly. And Dact, since he already has 2 Fire Flowers, does not need to grab a second. Unfortunately misses that Wiggler. If you can actually eat those Wigglers, if carefully, I'll add. If you carefully eat the wigglers, you can reduce lag. Yep, Dact's having no issues with that luck-based jump at the end of the stage. Doesn't run into a hammer. And I reckon we'll see C grab a Fire Flower from this block, as having the second Fire Flower saves a bit of time in Roy's castle, in the Roy fight. And C... Ooh, yep. Getting the bad luck on that jump. Decent backup though. But unfortunately just loses a little bit of time there. Dact getting kicked out of clip. That's not his fault, that is just the game. He had that set up perfectly, although now he's dropped Yoshi, so Yoshi's sub-pixel could be anything. Now it's just a luck-based mess of whether he can get through or not. And that blurp... Good move, hesitating before the blurp, but Seathorne is rapidly catching up. Ooh, Dact getting kicked out again. Seathorne gets through first try and has taken the lead for the first time since World 2. Dact getting through on, I think that's the 4th or 5th try, but he has lost a lot of time here. It is, clips can be brutal. Oh no! Oh, Dact, no! Dact has... Oh, he's messed up his swimming and fallen off the bottom of the level. That is extremely unfortunate. Oh, he's going back for Yoshi. I'm gonna attempt this clip again. Oh, you hate to see that. With that, Seathorne has quite the decisive lead now. As he makes his way into Forest of Illusion 3. Oh, Dact's going for this clip as Small Mario, which is hard. I think he's just going to grab this Fire Flower in a second. I hope he is. Oh, and he swims into the urchin. Oh no, Dact. I did miss C having to go back for that block. I saw something, but wasn't sure. Okay, Dact's grabbing another Yoshi. Dact, you have the Fire Flower, grab it, please. Oh no, he can't hear me. Oh no. Okay, so Seathorne got through FOI3 fine. Sorry, I've been a bit distracted by Dact. And is making his way into Roy's castle. And Dact, attempting to clip once again, gets through first try, if you can call that first try. Oh, this is something you never want to see. Let's see, yep. Gets through the auto-scrolling section of this stage fine, or the on-rails section in effect. And yep, manages to grab that second Fire Flower, keep it through the damage boost, and into the Roy fight. And that is why you grab that, that's why you want to have a second Fire Flower going into Roy's, otherwise after that damage boost, you would be small in this fight, and lose about 4 seconds. But yeah, we've gone, at the beginning of Forest, we had Dact ahead by a good 15-20 seconds, and now Seathorne's ahead by an even more significant margin. Dact's making his way through FY3. Looks, did he bump on that block? But otherwise, no issues. And C is already just about at the end of the Roy cutscene. And we're heading into Chocolate Island. So the essence of the restrictions in this category is it's basically no Chuck Eats, which restricts Orb Cloud and most arbitrary code execution. I think technically you could do arbitrary code execution other ways, but I don't. No one does, and I think if they did, it would be quickly banned. See, I think he got hit at the beginning of the stage and then grabbed a mushroom. And making his way through the rest of the level big. I think he'll be using that mushroom to damage boost in Choco Ghost House. And choosing to grab that mushroom, not strictly necessary, doesn't actually save time, but it can be good for confidence, and he doesn't have to grab one in Chocolate Island 1 either. And here we see Dact having to stomp 3 times on Roy instead of being able to fireball him. But he gets through the fight, and Scott, nice bounce on those boos to get up to the exit. As I thought, he did take the damage boost there. We'll be seeing, I believe Dact, I believe he goes through there, he keeps the mushroom. He does the damageless strat there, and keeps the mushroom through to Chocolate Secret in order to be able to go for a fast strat there with less risk. Ooh, see, I don't think he expected to land on that platform, but was able to react and avoid running into the dino. The dino torch, yes. And nice bounce on a large number of Koopas there, I see. Getting through that round. Ooh. Almost got stuck in baseball jail, but managed to break free. Sorry, Lost Call. We're not all weebs here. We don't use the Japanese names. I may be, but I assume the audience isn't. Yep, see, he's making his way through Chocolate Secret. Dact's making his way into the Ghost House. So 2 levels separating them at the moment, but that's quite a significant margin. Oh, Dact running into the Eries there. And he's opting... I reckon he'll grab the mushroom in the next room. And then go the damageless strat. Well, I can't be certain. Oh, okay, nope, he's just choosing to stay small only. And gets a nice bounce off that boo line. That can be a bit trickier than it looks to get. Seathorne doing some quick left-rights to get over those chucks. And has made it out of Chocolate Secret. He'll be heading into Wendy's Castle in just a moment. Yeah, so there's about 2 stages separating them now, but unfortunately one of those is Chocolate Secret, which is a lengthy stage, to say the least. Oh, see, missed the springs. Lost a bit of time there having to run back to the springs. Don't see that too often. Actually makes it through those crushes without taking damage, although I don't know if he was expecting that because he ran straight into the next one. Makes it through room 1, grabbing the midway. He'll be hopefully keeping this mushroom for a damage boost in the ghost ship. Yep, nice bounce off the hothead, and has made it into the Wendy fight. And on the other side of the screen we have Dact sliding his way through Chocolate Secret. Not going for P-speed strats, just doing the butt slides. Oh, Dact getting bounces off both of those chucks, losing a little bit of time. But also makes it through Chocolate Secret in the end. And C is now heading into the ghost ship. So Dactyly doesn't miss the springs, thankfully. Chooses to take damage there, so he'll be small through the rest of the stage. Saw C delay a little bit in order to keep the boo ring where he wants it. And yep, the boo ring's in exactly the right position for C, so he should be able to despawn a boo ring. Yep, so normally there would be a boo ring around where those spikes are, but it is not there. Because the boo cloud was in its place when it tried to spawn. And see, oh, skipping the star. Just choosing to fall down this room. Star doesn't really give you any safety, it's just, it can be difficult to skip if you don't know the inputs for it. And skipping the star does save a little bit of time in lag. Because this is quite the laggy room. And on Seathorne's side, we see an orb. I could do better than... I'll do better next orb. Now we see C making his way into Valley of Bowser 1. Did lose P-speed there for a little while, but not cause any issues. Gets a nice jump onto that mole. And yep, see, it looks like no issues getting through Valley of Bowser 1. Dact, on the other hand, making his way into the ghost ship. Oh, second room of the ghost ship. We'll see him delay a bit here as well, in order to line up that boo cloud right. If you don't delay enough, the boo cloud will despawn. It'll go one less cycle of appearing and disappearing, and definitely won't be around when you get to the boo ring. If you go too slow, it just disappears too early. If you go exactly the right amount of time, it doesn't stop disappearing at all, and you get the what's called the double despawn, where the second boo ring doesn't spawn at all. It's not too often that you see that. And see, will we be seeing a sandbar clip from him? Not sure whether he attempted it or not. Looks like he probably didn't, judging by how he was lined up. But I think odds are he's watching, he probably knows that he definitely doesn't need to go for it in order to win this race. Dact making his way through Valley of Bowser 1 as C is about to get out of Fob 2. Misses the lock jump, but then just rides up the sandbar thing in order to get to the secret exit. And Dact with a nice Valley of Bowser 1. C making his way into the fort. Scroll at the beginning in order to get through all these crushes unscathed. I think I'd say the sandbar clip. It's a 2-frame trick, or it's a 2-frame trick that can have extra frames sometimes. According to relatively recent science. But it's one of those things where it's definitely risky, and if you miss it, you die, which is not good. And see, once again makes it through the Reznor fight with no issues. Oh, there we go. Nice sandbar clip there from Dact. Gaining back those 50, what? 12, 13 seconds. But unfortunately, it's just nowhere near enough at this point. Those mistakes in forests were too significant. It's going to take a Bowser death or two from C in order for him to bring this one back. So in this category, if you collect a cape, or at least in this tournament, if you collect a cape, you have to die as quickly as possible, and then redo the level. I think normally in regular runs, we'd accept if you just went and lost the cape as quickly as possible, as long as it didn't save you any time. But we have to be a bit more strict about things in the tournament setting. And very nice start to the Bowser fight from C. So he's choosing to keep a Mecha Koopa in order to speed up the second and third phases. By having an extra Mecha Koopa at the start of this phase, he's able to hit Bowser when he's about to throw one of his bowling balls, and basically skip the throwing of that bowling ball. And in the next phase, having an extra one at the start of this phase allows him to just keep an extra one at the end of this phase, and use it to hit Bowser at the beginning of the third phase, which will cause him to bounce 5 times instead of 8, which saves a little bit more time. And Dact making his way into the Bowser fight. About a minute and a half behind C, I think. Yep, C gets that third hit, or gets that 5th hit on the Bowser. So only one left. And gets the 6th hit. He has won with a 35-46, it looks like, in RTA timing, and we see a 35-50 in the race room. And Dact having a little bit of a slower phase 1 than C, but still getting through fine. And going for that ball skip hit on Bowser. Ooh, gets nicked by the bowling ball. Was that the propeller? I'm not even sure which one hit him. But he's got that second mushroom. No real risk of death here. And gets a nice quick hit on the Bowser. Ah, late hit, okay. And Dact moving into phase 3. And gets the last hit on Bowser. And finishes with a 37-31 RTA time. They've got a 37-34 in the race room. So I'm joined by Seathorne. Hello, Seathorne.
Hello.
And congrats on the win.
Thank you. That was an interesting race, and the tables really turned there.
Yeah, oh, yeah, well, Dact was ahead by quite the margin going in the forest, and then,
Yeah, I think it wasn't like insurpassable. It was, I think, about 30 seconds at that point,
yeah, it was nothing
which
too
is
crazy.
still makes for a good race, but is also pretty significant if we both had a solid run past that point.
Hmm. And yeah, things completely flipped in Forest of Illusion too.
Yeah, I didn't exactly see what happened, but I assume he got clipped out and then fell off the bottom.
Clipped out, yeah, I think he clipped out or he, got kicked out of the clip a few times. So you actually got through the clip before he did.
Yeah,
And then,
but it would have been close if he had kept going at that point.
yeah, throw block. Yeah, basically the throw block ran out. I think he said in chat that he was looking at the chat, didn't realize it had run out, and he fell off the bottom of the stage.
That's
And
not
then
fun.
just a few mistakes that compounded from that, I think.
Yeah. Well,
Which is it's unfortunate, but these things do just happen sometimes.
Yep. My biggest mistake throughout the whole run, I think, was losing fire in Morton was pretty big. And then losing Yoshi in DP4 was dumb. I just
Oh yeah,
barely hit the bottom of the platform. I have
yeah.
done that before, so I'm like,
I
I'm prepared to dismount from Yoshi, but it's still just an annoying loss because you have to do VD1 buzzy jump and slower VS1.
yeah,
then,
I've definitely made the same mistake.
Yeah. And then in doing VD1 buzzy jump, I tried to jump up the vine and I guess just didn't press up on my controller properly, so I fell all the way back down and had to do it twice.
Yeah, and I saw in VS1 you also fireballed the shell when you were going for the like wall shell jump.
Yeah, I'm not used to doing that with fire. I have done it with fire before, but you're supposed to duck.
Yeah, if you duck, then you can't fireball it by accident. Yeah, so looking at the bracket, you'll be moving on to face the winner of Thug KJ versus Ricky.
Should be interesting.
Yeah. And the Lost Core has pointed out that with the elimination of Dact and Tengu Liam the other day, we have one Australian left in the tournament.
Wait, have I knocked out...
You've knocked out two Australians from the tournament.
I'm the Australian killer.
Well, if you want to beat me, let's see, you're gonna have to get through Ricky or Thug, and then...
Wait, you're in bottom half of the bracket, right?
No, I'm in top half. I'm gonna have to beat Lost Core, and then lose to you for that. So...
That would be interesting.
I'm also gonna have to
That'll
beat
be-
Dabs. I can't be sure that that will happen either.
Yeah. I think if you beat Dabs, then you versus Lost Core would be a pretty tough race.
You say that, except I haven't played the game in... When was my last race? No, I haven't. It was my race versus Dact at ZumiCon, which I forfeit because it was bad. I should practice. I have a race.
This race was interesting because Dact and I both PB'd. I think I PB'd on like Monday and he PB'd on Tuesday.
Yeah,
something.
both PB'd within
Maybe-
the last 4 days.
They might have been on the same day. I don't know. With Australian time, I'm not sure. But and both of our PBs were within 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So this race was definitely one that I was going into not knowing what the outcome was going to be.
I don't think anyone expected this, though.
Yeah.
And I think that's our last match for today. So
Probably. It's pretty late.
I should check.
Eastern time.
Let's see. I have a schedule. I know where it is.
Next one is at 6:30 Eastern.
6:30 Eastern. 6:30 a.m. Eastern. So
Yeah.
it's today if you're in Australia. Then that is Fitz 1889 versus Dunkel Gothic. And after that, Like I said, the other two we have scheduled are tomorrow at 5 p.m. We've got Umario versus Louis, and at right after that at 6 p.m. we have myself versus Dabs. And I'm definitely not prepared for that, so be sure to tune in.
A whole day, easy.
And yep, that's all we've got for today. So I guess we'll just leave off here. So thanks everyone for watching, and yep, tune in
Yep.
tomorrow for more races.
Thanks for the commentary and restream and race Dact.
Goodbye.